Hey, good morning. Welcome in. Welcome back, everybody. We've got a very powerful shift of energies today at play for the Twin Flame Collective. We do have Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius in a conjunction to Mars in Sagittarius. And so this is really fiery. This actually feels like a tower moment in motion. We're going to break it down. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. My name is Laura. I'm a twin flame coach, guide, channeler, and astrologer. And we're going to break down the astrology today for the Twin Flame Collective. And we are going to dig deeper with some oracle and some tarot messages. And so I just feel right now this conjunction feels very raw. The energy yesterday moving through the 1111 portal was a little bit challenging because Jupiter was stationing retrograde. We are in this massive death energy, and today these energies feel very much karmically loaded. I kept hearing locked and loaded. And so Mercury retrograde is a revisiting, right? This could be a revisiting of a conversation that needs to be had that was never had. There could be a decision here that needs to be reworked or looked at again. And I just feel there's a lot of mental framework energy boiling to the surface connected to the past, okay? And Mars is adding this fiery urgency to this energy. And the energy, I have to say, screams confrontation, right? Sagittarius demands the truth. You lie to a Sagittarius and you're done, right? They don't stand for lies. And I just feel with all of this happening in the sixth house, it's the energy of walking your talk, right? You gotta walk the talk. And so there's a challenge here when it comes to integrating spiritual truth with the mundane, because the sixth house is naturally ruled by Virgo, which is pretty much the mundane of health and routine and work and service. And we can't just preach about alignment. We actually have to live alignment. And so I feel those that are not really aligned right now, they're going to experience a lot of ascension symptoms that could lead to burnout. There's going to be tension in communication. But there's a very strong message here around management of our energy and boundaries, right? Boundaries are going to be really important. And so we see this culmination of this conjunction happening in the sixth house, but the sixth house is in Libra. And we also have this massive Scorpio stellium sitting in the sixth house, along with the Sagittarius energy. And so there's alchemy between Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius happening here in the sixth house. Libra brings the mirror, right? Libra is the energy of the mirror. And this is asking us to reflect and to bring harmony into any imbalances. Scorpio brings the purge, right? It brings the massive purge. And it is all about the transformation, but it's going to require emotional truth. And then Sagittarius brings the fire, which is all about liberation, but tapping into that higher wisdom, okay? And so there's alchemy here, but it's going to be through conflict is really what this is telling me today. The sixth house at this culminating energy is acting as the crucible is what I see here. And this is the daily arena where we have to dissolve the ego. And we do that through consistency. And there's likely going to be a confrontation probably with your own patterns in the energies today, okay? And so this is connected to cycles of control, cycles of blame, cycles of projection, cycles of avoidance. They all need to be purified. And so there's alchemy here. And so it feels like spiritualized chaos is the best way to describe what I'm looking at here in the astrology today. And it's going to have to be integrated. We see this culmination in a sextile to Pluto in Aquarius. Sextiles bring opportunities, I feel, to bring in this mental alchemy, mental clarity. And with Pluto in Aquarius in the ninth house, this is where we perceive our truth. This is our belief. This is our philosophies. This is our freedom. This is our higher vision. And the sextile is offering a chance to transmute obsessions into wisdom, right? And so we have to break free from dogmas, from one-sided beliefs in relationships. And I feel this transit, the sextile to Pluto, is empowering the divine feminine. And this is about reclaiming your intellectual sovereignty. And I feel the divine masculine is beginning to awaken, but there's a lot of spiritual implications because of his past choices coming back to kind of bite him in the butt, okay? And so we're opening up a doorway to a shared mission, though, of alignment with this energy. We see it in a trine to Neptune retrograde in Pisces in the 11th house at 29 degrees. And so we've got a lot of aspects here at that final degree aspecting this conjunction. And so there's a completion of an emotional, karmic, spiritual chapter here connected to what I want to say, the collective dream. And the trine is going to soften the fiery energy, and it's bringing forward divine guidance, right? And so we have to stop resisting the truth, though. We have to stop resisting the truth, and we have to be willing to dissolve the illusions, especially within the spiritual community and our community connections. And so this is connected to social circles as well. And so we also have to release false beliefs about the idea of the twin flame journey itself. And so there's death of the fantasy at play today in order to rebirth into authentic connections. We see it in an opposition to Uranus and Taurus at 29 degrees in the 12th house. This is awakening. Uranus brings the awakening, and Uranus at 29 degrees is destabilizing a lot of subconscious attachments connected to the 12th house of spirituality. There's going to be very unexpected endings in the energies today. There could be a very abrupt emotional awakening. This could happen through vivid dreams or even just a massive timeline shift, which is going to lead to separation dynamics of these karmic soul contracts. And I feel there's going to be a realization, right? Controlling a situation only brings more chaos, right? When we try to control another person, we create internal chaos within us. We can't control another person's free will, and it will bring a lot of chaos. And so controlling chaos are two sides of the same coin. And we have to release both. We have to release chaos and we have to release control in order to ascend and transcend the patterns. We also see this conjunction in a square to the moon in Leo at 29 degrees. There is a fixed cross energy here at critical degree points. And this is definitely affecting Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius placements, especially those at late degree, I'd like to say. And so this square to the moon is amplifying and electrifying this emotional volatility. And so a Leo moon is very fixed energy. It's very demanding energy. It demands authenticity. And Leo moon at 29 degrees is going to be triggered into a lot of ego defensiveness. And so there's tower energy here. There's a master teacher being birthed, though, in this energy through spiritual truth. So expect, I want to say, emotional breakdowns over the coming days. There's going to be sudden clarity. There's going to be communication outbursts for sure. And all of this is going to serve a higher divine purpose. It's going to clear the false foundations is what it's going to do. And then we can rebuild union on authenticity. And so there's a tower moment on the home front. There's a fourth house activation here with the moon and Leo sitting in the fourth house. And it does reflect a massive karmic purification. And it's going to expose an imbalance between emotional safety and spiritual purpose. And I do think it's going to bring a major impact to a home situation that at one point in time felt secure, but is actually rooted in deep ancestral patterns. And there's a lack of stability in this emotional foundation. And so many within the Twin Flame Collective, they're going to be experiencing massive upheaval in their physical home and maybe even family dynamics or emotional stability. And this is going to serve as a mirror for the inner restructuring that is going to be taking place. Okay, so Divine Feminine, be willing to confront where you have overfunctioned or overextended yourself in the name of service or in the name of healing or in the name of love. The sixth house, I feel, is calling you back into sovereignty and alignment. And your task right now is to act, speak, and live from your truth. Even if it disrupts the status quo, even if it disrupts harmony in a relationship, okay? You might also be feeling emotionally exhausted. And if that's the case, you're needing to anchor more into your daily life, more into your purpose, rather than waiting for reunion or trying to force connection or force reunion, okay? Divine Masculine is in a massive mental and energetic purge right now, and I can clearly see that in this astrology chart. This Mercury-Mars conjunction is going to force accountability for the Divine Masculine. The more he escapes through distraction or denial, the more he's going to experience massive collapse of all of the structures he's tried to control. And this is going to force him to see where he's been living out of alignment and not connected to his soul's truth. And so the opposition to Uranus as well, I feel, is bringing forward a sudden awakening for the masculine. And there's likely going to be a catalytic event that will shock him into higher consciousness. And so we're at a major activation point for a new cycle with all of those 29-degree placements. And then the moon will be entering into Virgo almost instantly at that 0 degrees to start a new cycle. And so there's a fire here burning away the illusions, and we do rebirth through the fire. There's a catalyst here that is activating sacred realignment for the divine masculine, and communication between the counterparts might be intense. It might be triggering, even if it's just telepathically, because there's silence between you. The energy is very much testing our integrity right now, is what this feels like. And the tower is here to collapse anything false, whether it's a belief, a structure, a relationship, so we can anchor into true divine union. And so let that truth become your clarity right now. We're not here to perform. We're not here to seek validation. This is not going to be a comfortable day of energies, okay? It's going to be a day of initiations, and we're recalibrating. When we recalibrate into higher frequencies, into higher integrity, it is very uncomfortable, but the illusion of separation and martyrdom are all dissolving, so divine order can really emerge and prepare us for that higher union, okay? So if you are curious about astrology, if you are new to astrology and you would like to learn a little bit more about your birth chart, I do have a free guide. All you have to do is comment free guide down below, and I will send you the link to download the basics of understanding your birth chart. And I also have an astrology membership. This is the perfect place to get coaching with me in a group setting rather than one-on-one for a fraction of the price. This is an ongoing monthly membership, and we dig into a new topic every single week. We're building the foundation of the birth chart, and we are going deeper and deeper each week into the lessons. And each month there will be a live Q&A with me. So if you have any questions, it's the perfect time to interact with me in a live group setting. Go check it out. Go check out the membership. I would love to have you join me over there. And I also have 30% off on all of my astrological readings throughout the Mercury retrograde. So from now until the 29th of November, you can get 30% off all of my astrology sessions. This is the lowest price I have ever offered my readings at. So go check it out. It's a steal of a deal. And I'd love to bring you some clarity and some guidance if you are seeking those answers. But let's dig in with some cards. Let's see what the cards have to say today. Well, today's tarot spread is charged with awakening. I want to say confrontation and divine truth. There is a tower of truth here is what this feels like. And ancient wisdom is rising. And so there's an unveiling here. There's a massive clearing in the reading today. And I do want to say a lot of karmic debris. So let's break it down. The first card out is the ancient wisdom card. And this does carry with it an 8 of Wands vibration. It is connected to key 34 in the tarot. And so there's a portal of messages coming down to earth from the ancestors, from the ethers. And I feel there's a higher divine alignment at play with the energies. There's a higher calling coming through. And I do feel this is a direct link to Mercury's frequency in conjunction to Mars. There's swift downloads, accelerated ascension, accelerated learning, and major energetic transmissions in the energy. And I kept hearing the word wolves. And so wolves symbolize guides, protectors. They are protectors of sacred truth. They are old souls who walk between worlds, right? Who walk between dimensions. And so there is a pack here gathering is what I feel, like a pack of wolves. And so we're not alone in this ascension process. We really aren't. It's like the collective is howling the same call back to authenticity right now. And so this energy, I feel, is really asking us to step away from distractions, to silence the noise, to listen to what the earth is saying to us. And I feel there is a deep inner knowing here. And we need to really be mindful, right? We have to be still. When we are still, when we are calm, pure love, pure ascension codes can enter. And pure love neither judges, it doesn't grasp. It just simply is, right? And so I feel the divine feminine is remembering her ancient role as a bridge between heaven and earth. And the divine masculine is beginning to awaken to his ancient spiritual lineage. And I feel there's resistance, though. The resistance here is strong, okay? Then we get the grounding card, and it does feel like a 10 of Wands energy, which is interesting because the last card out today was the 10 of Wands in reverse. And so everything is so synchronistic in this reading. And so this is meeting the burden of embodiment, right? With Mercury and Mars in a conjunction, the mind and the body are going to be like electrified. And without that grounding energy, we can have burnout, we can be reactive, and impulses can definitely take over. And so we need to be reminded, I feel, this is a reminder, our body is a temple, our body is an altar. When we numb or when we seek to escape through overindulgences, whether it's food, substance abuses, sex, or avoidance, we actually are practicing false grounding. Real grounding happens through conscious connection to the earth, through our breath, through our presence, through stillness, through ritual, and through surrender. And so right now we are being asked to lay down the burden of addiction. Lay down the burden of attachment and overextension, okay? Because that is a false sense of grounding. We can't hold these incoming frequencies in if we're clinging to these old anchors that actually don't ground us at all. And so we have to transmute the emotional overload through embodiment practices. And I do feel the masculine in particular is confronting, I want to say, escapism patterns, because we got the sexual energy card that came through. And this does feel like a Knight of Wands frequency. That energy has been coming through quite a bit lately. But I feel this is like a Kundalini surge, right? Fire is at the root of the reading with Mercury conjunct Mars. But there's a warning here, right? When we misuse our Kundalini or our sexual energy, we create blocks when it comes to the channeling of these energies and divine union. I feel this card is revealing a karmic entanglement or manipulative dynamics that are based in validation rather than a real heart connection. And so the sacred truth is that our sexual energy is sacred. It is our creative energy. When we misdirect it, we create distortion and we create codependencies. So we have to properly ground our sexual energy. And when we do, it is the bridge of creation. It's connected to the sacral chakra. And so this is how the twins channel divine light into the material world through sexual physical union. And the masculine, I feel, is being confronted with an energetic consequence of past misuse of desire or intimacy connected to third party, where the feminine is learning to hold in her sexual frequency in a state of sovereignty. When we are celibate for years on the journey, then we are no longer absorbing others' projections and others' wounds, okay? And so the bottom of the deck, I just love it. It's just a reminder, like, hey, it's all good. Everything is good as we go through this master-teacher integration, okay? There's a moon a little bit reflected in this energy because it's an 18 card. And so it feels a little bit chaotic, but everything is unfolding according to divine order. And any pain that's surfacing is sacred, right? Sacred pain is meant to dissolve the fear, the illusion, There is, I feel, emotional turbulence here, but at the core, we're getting into a resonance of peace. So let's talk about the tarot breakdown. Let's talk about the top row. We got a lot of reversals in today's reading. We get the 2 of Wands reversed, the 4 of Coins reversed, and the Ace of Wands reversed. This feels like a paralysis energy. It really does, like a paralysis, like the crossroads. I feel there's hesitation to act. There's fear of leaving the known path. The 4 of Coins reversed today. I always feel the energy of like Pandora's box opening. This feels like repressed truths coming to the surface, buried fears coming to the surface. And this seals the deal. I want to say with the top row, something I feel that's been hidden is coming to light. There's a loss of momentum. There's misused energy, blocked sexual energy here because of misuse of sexual energy with the Ace of Wands. And so the masculine, I feel, is tied to an energy of stagnation. He's resisting choosing his truth. There's fear of facing consequences and his misuse of personal power. And so something hidden, I want to say, is about to be exposed. And the shadow box is wide open and it cannot be closed again, okay? Let's talk about the middle row. The 4 of Cups reversed, the 7 of Swords upright to the Knight of Swords in reverse. There's that combative communication. And so this is a Tower moment, all in the minor arcana. And so the 7 of Swords to the Knight of Swords, this is exposure, lies, avoidance, emotional dishonesty. And this is impulsive, abrasive, and reactive energy here. And together, all 3 of these cards are truth ripping through illusion is what I want to say. The hidden heartache is about to surface. The divine masculine's avoidance and his emotional desire, his emotional desires that he has denied are coming into a very sharp focus. And this is saying, hey, it's time to confront the heartbreak that you've avoided, that you've evaded. And I feel words are going to be very cutting in the energy today. They're going to cut deep, but they're going to be truth freeing, okay? And so combative communication is what this is saying to me, but it's going to lead to a revelation and healing if it's integrated properly, okay? Bottom row, 9 of Wands reversed, the Judgment card, and the 10 of Wands. So we started with the 10 of Wands energy. Oh, wait, the grounding, the 10 of Wands energy. And we close off with the 10 of Wands reversed, which is the release, right? I want to say this is like the resurrection moment. And so this is laying down arms. Please lay down the arms, divine masculine. The war ends when you stop defending your pain, okay? That's a big message there. And this, I feel, is an energy of soul recall today. There's a karmic awakening, forgiveness, accountability. All of that is needed in order to release a long-standing burden, okay? I just want to take a deep breath and say, the collective is about to exhale. The karmic cycle ends when full exposure comes to light, right? Is what I feel. We release and then we integrate. And so the masculine, I feel, is facing the karmic mirror in the energies today. And the feminine is stepping into the light. I don't feel much of the feminine coming through in the reading today, but I do feel this says the long wait is over. The wait is over. What was once stalled for months, maybe even years, is about to begin again, especially within the next 3 weeks, and especially with the Scorpio New Moon next week, okay? I feel the wait is over. There you are, divine feminine. There you are. And so that just confirms that you just got to keep stepping into the light and allow the moon cycles to do their business, to do their bidding in this connection, okay? Let's talk about the closing messages because we got the Black Spruce card. This is connected to the sacral chakra, and it says, I allow the light in and recognize that we are all one. This is the key to integration, right? It actually feels like a Charlie Brown Christmas with the little spruce, with the little spruces there. Anyway, and so this is the merging of the shadow and the light, the masculine and the feminine, the pain and the wisdom, I want to say. And so there's also like a hanged man archetype coming through this card, reminding us to surrender, and surrender brings illumination. And so there's a lot of masculine wounding coming through that is being healed through compassion, and we can never heal it through condemnation. And so the divine feminine has to hold the vibration of forgiveness And it doesn't excuse any of the behavior of the masculine, but it does liberate the feminine from the karma, okay? And so light and dark are never enemies. They are both needed. They are both expressions from the same source. So remember that. We need both the shadow and the light. And then we close off with the Fennel card. And so this is connected to the 11th chakra, believe it or not. And so it says we are a conduit for spiritual wisdom. So the final message is opening up the higher portal, right, that we walked through in the 1111 energies yesterday. And so the 11th chakra connects us to cosmic consciousness, and it is connected to the universal grid, and it is the conduit frequency. And so in order for us to channel divine truth, we have to clear the lower chakra centers, the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus. And that's where we hold fear, shame, and attachment. 1111 on the timer as I'm recording this portion. That's interesting. And so every energetic center has to be aligned for these new codes to be received clearly. And so this is just a confirmation, I want to say, that the collective is entering a phase of spiritual acceleration. I do believe messages are streaming in very fast, and the body needs to be ready to hold these new light codes, and integration is essential. Integration is grounding, it's hydration, it's prayer, it's meditation, it's presence. And so when we are like the lightning rod between heaven and earth, we have to keep our channel clear. We have to heal from addictions. We have to ground in our heart, and we have to be open to the messages, right? Because we are supported as we undergo this spiritual transmission and transformation. And so basically this entire reading is riddled with tower codes, I want to say, and a purification of truth and power. And I just got a massive wave of energy around my ear chakra. And so I feel the divine masculine is being stripped of illusions as the divine feminine fully steps into the embodiment of divine wisdom. And so grounding is going to anchor this in. Definitely. So that's what I have for a reading today, guys. The rest of the week is actually pretty quiet. I do have several sessions booked. If you would like to book in with me, do check out the link below. Like I said, I've got 30% off all of my astrology sessions. So this is the perfect time to book a personal birth chart reading, transit chart reading, or soulmate synastry reading at a super discounted price. Book it in now, all the way through Mercury retrograde through the 29th. I will see you all again Monday morning with the forecast for the twins for the week ahead. Have a great rest of the week, everybody, and I will see you all again next time.